We are back with another video. This time we're talking about Norway. This place is insane. I mean, we're talking about a country that's literally located inside the Arctic Circle. This place is so far north that the sun doesn't set for months at a time. That's right, you heard me correctly, months. We're talking about the midnight sun, people. This is a real thing, and it's one of the most incredible natural phenomena that you'll ever experience. So, what is there to do in Norway when the sun never sets? Well, pretty much anything you can think of. You can go hiking, fishing, kayaking, camping, or just sit outside and soak up the endless sunshine. It's truly an amazing experience. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey to Norway to experience the midnight sun for ourselves. We'll be hiking to some of the most epic viewpoints, kayaking through stunning fjords, and even camping out under the never-ending sky. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an adventure. Alright, so first things first, if you're coming to Norway to experience the midnight sun, you have to check out the Lofoten Islands. This place is like something out of a fairy tale. We're talking towering mountains, crystal clear fjords, and these charming little fishing villages that look like they're straight out of a postcard. Now, when it comes to hiking in Lofoten, there are literally hundreds of trails to choose from. But if you're looking for the best views in the islands, you gotta check out Reinebringen. This hike is no joke. It's steep, it's challenging, but let me tell you, the view from the top is absolutely breathtaking. You're going to be looking out over the entire archipelago, with these jagged peaks just jutting out of the ocean. It's like something out of Jurassic Park, but with less dinosaurs, hopefully. Another hike that you don't want to miss is Reiten. This one's a little bit longer than Reinebringen, but it's not as steep, so it's a good option if you're looking for something a little bit more mellow. The highlight of this hike is definitely the view from the top, where you get this insane panoramic view of the Kvalvika beach. This beach is known for its white sand and turquoise water, and it's just absolutely stunning. Now, the cool thing about hiking in Lofoten during the midnight sun is that you can literally hike all night long. The sun never sets, so you can start your hike at like 10 p.m. and still be back at your campsite before the day even starts. It's pretty wild. Just make sure you pack some extra layers because even though it's summer, it can still get pretty chilly up in the mountains, especially at night. And bring a headlamp or a flashlight just in case. But honestly, hiking under the midnight sun is an experience that you'll never forget. It's just you, the trail, and the endless daylight. It's pretty magical. Alright, so after you've conquered the trails of Lofoten, it's time to head north to Tromsø, which is like the adventure capital of Norway. This place is located way up north, like 400 kilometers above the Arctic Circle, so you know it's going to be epic. Now, one of the coolest things you can do in Tromsø is go kayaking in the fjords. And I'm not talking about just any kayaking, I'm talking about kayaking with a view. We're talking towering cliffs, glaciers that stretch as far as the eye can see, and maybe even a whale or two if you're lucky. Now, you can definitely rent a kayak and go out on your own. But I highly recommend joining a guided tour, especially if you're not super experienced with kayaking. Plus, the guides know all the best spots, and they can tell you all about the history and the nature of the area. And if you really want to experience the magic of Tromsø, you gotta go kayaking at night. I know, kayaking at night. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me on this one. When the sun's low on the horizon, it casts this golden glow over the water, and the reflections of the mountains in the water are just insane. It's like something out of a dream. Plus, kayaking at night means you might even get lucky and see the northern lights. I mean, how cool would that be? To be out on the water, surrounded by mountains, with the northern lights dancing overhead? That's the kind of stuff that memories are made of. Just make sure you dress warmly because it can get pretty chilly out on the water, even in the summer. And bring a waterproof bag for your phone and your camera because you're going to want to capture every moment of this epic adventure. Alright, so we've hiked through the stunning landscapes of Lofoten, we've kayaked through the glacial waters of Tromsø, and now it's time to head even further north to the island of Andenes, which is basically whale-watching central. Now, Andenes is located on the edge of the continental shelf, which means that the waters here are super deep, like thousands of meters deep. And that deep water attracts all sorts of marine life, including whales. We're talking sperm whales, humpback whales, orcas, you name it. They're probably swimming around here somewhere. Now, you can go whale watching pretty much year-round in Andenes, but the best time to go is during the summer months, which, you guessed it, coincides with the midnight sun. And the cool thing about whale watching during the midnight sun is that the sun never really sets, so you get this really cool ethereal light that's perfect for photography. Now, there are a bunch of different companies that offer whale watching tours in Andenes, and most of them operate on these big, sturdy boats that can handle the rough seas. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can also opt for a smaller rib boat, which is basically like a giant inflatable raft. These boats are a lot faster and more maneuverable than the bigger boats, so you can get up close and personal with the whales. Just be prepared for a bumpy ride because those rib boats can really bounce around on the waves. But trust me, it's worth it for the chance to see these majestic creatures up close. And if you're really lucky, you might even spot a pod of orcas, which are like the wolves of the sea. They're super intelligent, they're incredibly social, and they're just amazing to watch in the wild. Alright, so we've talked about hiking, we've talked about kayaking, we've talked about whale watching, but if you really want to experience the magic of the midnight sun, you gotta spend a night camping under the never-ending sky. Now, one of the coolest things about Norway is that they have this thing called the right to roam, which basically means that you can camp pretty much anywhere you want, as long as you're not on private property or within a certain distance of a dwelling. So you can literally pitch your tent on a mountaintop by a fjord in a forest, wherever your heart desires. Now, if you're planning on camping during the midnight sun, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. First of all, even though it's summer, it can still get pretty chilly at night, especially up in the mountains. So make sure you pack warm clothes, a warm sleeping bag, and a good sleeping pad. And speaking of sleeping, you might want to bring an eye mask, because even though it's not technically daylight, the midnight sun can still be pretty bright, and it can make it hard to sleep if you're not used to it. But honestly, camping under the midnight sun is an experience that you'll never forget. It's just you, your tent, and the endless daylight. You can stay up all night reading, writing, or just staring up at the stars. It's pretty magical. Just make sure you pack out everything you pack in because Norway is a beautiful country, and we want to keep it that way. Alright, so we've covered a lot of ground in this video, but no trip to Norway would be complete without experiencing the rich culture of the indigenous Sami people. The Sami are the indigenous people of northern Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia, and they've been living in this region for thousands of years. They have a deep connection to the land and a rich cultural heritage that's definitely worth experiencing. One of the best ways to learn about the Sami culture is to visit a Sami community. There are several Sami communities located throughout northern Norway, and many of them offer cultural experiences for visitors. You can learn about traditional Sami crafts like reindeer herding, duoji, Sami handicrafts, and joik, traditional Sami singing. You can also try traditional Sami food like reindeer meat, dried fish, and cloudberries. Cloudberries are these small orange berries that grow in the Arctic tundra, and they're a real delicacy in Sami culture. They're tart, they're tangy, and they're absolutely delicious. But for me, the most fascinating aspect of Sami culture is their connection to nature. The Sami have lived in harmony with nature for centuries, and they have a deep understanding of the delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem. They believe that everything in nature has a spirit, and they treat the land and its resources with respect. Spending time with the Sami people is a truly humbling experience. They'll teach you about their traditions, their beliefs, and their way of life. It's an opportunity to learn about a culture that's vastly different from your own, and to gain a new perspective on the world. So there you have it, folks. That's a wrap on our midnight sun adventure in Norway. From hiking through breathtaking landscapes to kayaking in glacial waters, from whale watching to camping under the never-ending sky, Norway offers an experience unlike any other. And the best part? This is just a glimpse of what this incredible country has to offer. There are still countless adventures to be had, from exploring the fjords by boat to dog sledding in the Arctic wilderness. Norway is a country that will stay with you long after you've left. If you're looking for an adventure that will push you outside your comfort zone and leave you with memories that will last a lifetime, then Norway is the place for you. So what are you waiting for? Start planning your trip today. Until next time, keep exploring.